Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master everyone to today's video, where we dive deep into the incredible story of one of the most fascinating and mind-blowing coins ever to come out of the United States Mint, the 1983 Lincoln cent, a coin that many people overlook as just another penny, but one that could actually be worth up to $530 million under certain extraordinary conditions. Yes, you heard that right, a small copper-colored coin with a face value of just 1 cent could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars because of the unique circumstances surrounding its creation, the minting errors that occurred, and the specific features that make some 1983 pennies so incredibly rare and valuable. In this long and detailed journey, we'll explore every angle of this remarkable coin, the history, composition, minting process, errors, varieties, and the unbelievable reasons why certain examples have captured the attention of collectors and experts all over the world. So sit back and enjoy as we go step by step into the story behind the 1983 Lincoln penny and why this humble cent has become one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatic history. The 1983 Lincoln cent might seem like an ordinary coin at first glance. It features the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, with the word Liberty on the left side and the year 1983 on the right. Above Lincoln's head is the motto "In God We Trust," and beneath the portrait lies the subtle initials VDB, representing Victor David Brenner, the original designer of the Lincoln cent back in 1909. The reverse side of the coin shows the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which was used from 1959 through 2008, with the words United States of America around the top rim, the Latin phrase E pluribus unum just above the memorial, and the denomination 1 cent centered at the bottom. To most people, this design is one of the most recognizable in American coinage history. Millions upon millions of these pennies have circulated through the hands of Americans for decades, buying candy, paying for parking meters, or lying forgotten in change jars and drawers across the country. But among the billions produced, a few hold mysteries that have transformed them from pocket change into fortune. To understand why the 1983 penny can be so valuable, we need to go back a few years to 1982, when one of the most significant changes in U.S. coinage occurred. For decades, Lincoln cents were made primarily of copper. From 1909 through 1982, these coins consisted of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. However, by the early 1980s, copper prices had skyrocketed. The cost of producing a single penny began to exceed its actual face value, which was a serious issue for the U.S. Mint. The government needed a cheaper way to produce these coins without changing their outward appearance too dramatically. So in 1982, the Mint began transitioning from solid copper coins to coins made of a copper-plated zinc core. These new coins contained only a thin outer layer of copper, making up about 2.5% of the coin's weight, while the rest was 97.5% zinc. This new composition brought down production costs significantly, but it also introduced the potential for confusion and rare transitional errors. Because 1982 was a year of transition, the Mint produced pennies of both copper and zinc compositions. This overlap created one of the most famous varieties in coin collecting history, the 1982 copper penny and the 1982 zinc penny. The two versions can be distinguished by their weight. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. However, the transition didn't end cleanly in 1982. In 1983, all regular production Lincoln cents were supposed to be made entirely from the new copper-plated zinc composition. But as collectors later discovered, that wasn't entirely the case. Some 1983 pennies appear to have been accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets from 1982. These rare transitional errors are among the most valuable pennies in existence. Imagine the chaos of the Mint's production lines during this time. Millions of blanks, or planchets, were being fed into high-speed presses across multiple facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. During this transition, it's very possible that a few leftover copper planchets from 1982 remained in the bins or hoppers that fed the coin presses, and when those presses began striking the 1983 dated dies, a handful of copper coins were mistakenly created. These transitional error coins, 1983 Lincoln cents struck on copper planchets, are extraordinarily rare and highly sought after by collectors. Only a small number of genuine examples have ever been authenticated by professional grading services, and their discovery sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Some of these rare coins have fetched tens of thousands of dollars at auction, and if the condition, provenance, and composition are perfect, the potential value could skyrocket into the millions, as rare coin enthusiasts compete to own a piece of this unique minting mystery. One of the reasons why this particular coin has gained such notoriety is because it represents a clear example of how unpredictable the minting process can be. Despite the precision and automation of modern minting technology, human error, mechanical malfunctions, and transitional mishaps can still lead to astonishing results. For the 1983 penny, these errors come in various forms, from the famous transitional error involving copper planchets to double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks that give each coin a unique identity. Among these, the double die error is especially important. A double die occurs when the coin die, the metal stamp that impresses the design, receives a misaligned or doubled image during the hubbing process. When this flawed die is used to strike coins, each coin it produces will show doubled images of certain design elements, such as the date, letters, or features of Lincoln's portrait. The 1983 double die reverse penny is one of the best-known errors of the entire Lincoln cent series. In this variety, the reverse lettering, particularly the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, appears clearly doubled when viewed under magnification. This striking doubling effect makes these coins stand out dramatically and adds immense collector value. Collectors and investors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for these error coins because they represent tangible pieces of minting history, physical proof of rare mistakes that shouldn't have happened. In perfect uncirculated condition, a 1983 double die reverse penny can easily sell for thousands of dollars, and depending on the grade, it can go much higher. But when you add the potential for other overlapping errors, such as a coin struck on a copper planchet, with a double die reverse, and possibly a mint mark anomaly, the theoretical value can soar into astronomical figures. It's not just about the metal or the face value anymore, it's about rarity, provenance, and the story each coin tells. The 1983 pennies were struck at multiple U.S. mint facilities, each identified by its mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins with no mint mark, while the Denver Mint used as D the mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins with an S mint mark. Mint mark variations can also contribute to a coin's rarity and desirability. For instance, repunched mint marks, where the D or Thest was accidentally stamped more than once, slightly misaligned, are rare and valuable. Sometimes, these mint marks appear filled, tilted, or even partially missing due to debris or damage to the die. Each of these minor variations can result in a unique collectible piece. A 1983 D penny with a filled or repunched mint mark, combined with other minting errors, could theoretically command enormous sums if authenticated and in pristine condition. But what truly sets the 1983 penny apart is how easily an everyday person could have won without realizing its significance. Most people don't weigh their pennies or look at them under magnification. They simply spend them or toss them into a jar. That's why stories occasionally surface about collectors or hobbyists discovering incredibly rare 1983 pennies by accident. One moment, they're sorting through loose change, and the next, they're holding a coin worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. This potential for discovery fuels the excitement and mystique surrounding these coins. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket change that turns out to be worth more than your house, or even more than a luxury car. It's no wonder so many people are now taking a second look at their pennies. The 1983 penny also marks a fascinating era in American coin history because it represents the early years of the zinc-based composition that continues to this day. Over time, these zinc coins have proven to be far less durable than their copper predecessors. They corrode more easily, especially if exposed to moisture or air for long periods. This makes high-grade 1983 pennies in uncirculated condition increasingly rare, especially when you consider how many were used daily and worn down through circulation. A pristine, well-preserved example with sharp details and full red luster is already valuable, but add an error and the price can become almost unbelievable. When discussing value in the hundreds of millions, it's not just about a single coin selling at that level, it's about the combination. Today's story will completely change the way you see these tiny pieces of copper. In this video, we're going to explore one of the most unbelievable coin stories ever told, the story of the 1996 Lincoln cent, also known as the 1996 Liberty penny, that has stunned collectors and experts alike because of its extraordinary and mysterious value. This is not just any coin, it's a 1996 1-cent coin that's been valued at an astonishing $480 million due to a series of rare minting errors, unique variations, and anomalies that have made it one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatic history. You heard that right, a single penny, worth nearly $500 million, and it's all because of mistakes that occurred during its production. Now, how can something that was supposed to be worth just 1 cent become worth so much? It all comes down to the world of minting errors, collector fascination, and the unpredictable ways history and rarity can intersect. The 1996 Lincoln cent was part of the regular issue series featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been in use since 1909. However, certain 1996 coins turned out to have some of the most mind-bending production errors and variations ever documented. What began as a normal minting process at facilities like Denver and Philadelphia ended up creating a coin that stands out from millions of others because of its anomalies, metal inconsistencies, and mint mark oddities. Before we explore exactly why this coin is so incredibly valuable, let's take a moment to understand the context of the 1996 Lincoln penny. The coin was minted primarily in copper-plated zinc composition, with a small fraction of copper and a dominant zinc core. These were mass-produced by the U.S. Mint in the billions. The Philadelphia Mint, which produces coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, identified with a small d beneath the date, were both responsible for producing these coins in staggering quantities. But even in a sea of billions of identical coins, every now and then, a rare one slips through that defies expectations. The rare 1996 Liberty penny that reportedly reached a worth of $480 million became legendary because of a combination of strange characteristics. The first major factor that contributed to its staggering value is the minting error known as the double die error. In some examples from 1996, collectors discovered that parts of the design, such as Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date 1996, appeared to have a doubled image effect. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the minting process, creating a shadowed or duplicated appearance. These double die pennies have been known to command large sums among collectors, but the one in question took this to an entirely new level. The 1996 penny that shocked the coin world also had a mint mark anomaly that's considered one of the most dramatic ever recorded. Mint marks are small letters placed on coins to identify where they were made, such as D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. The rare 1996 penny appeared to have an overpunched mint mark, meaning the D was struck twice, possibly over a faint P, creating a hybrid marking that shouldn't exist under normal circumstances. Experts believe this may have happened when a mint employee reused or accidentally mixed dies from two different mints, something that would be strictly controlled under normal conditions. That overlap between mints, if genuine, would make the coin unique beyond imagination. Another fascinating feature that adds to the mystique of this coin is its composition. Most 1996 Lincoln pennies are made of copper-plated zinc, as established since 1982 when the U.S. Mint changed the metal composition to save costs. But the legendary $480 million coin appears to have been struck on a planchet intended for another denomination entirely. Some reports suggest that it was accidentally struck on a bronze or silver planchet, or even a transitional metal leftover from earlier years. Such wrong planchet errors are incredibly rare because of the tight controls at the mint. But if a Lincoln cent was struck on the wrong metal, the weight and color would differ slightly, and this would immediately set it apart to trained eyes. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the combination of several errors that all occurred on the same piece. It's not just a double die or an off-metal strike, it's a mix of multiple minting mistakes converging in one single coin. There are examples of coins with misaligned dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even broad strikes that cause the rim to appear wider than usual. When these occur together, collectors call it a multi-error coin, and these are the crown jewels of error coin collecting. The 1996 Liberty penny that allegedly sold for $480 million seems to be one of these extraordinary multi-error specimens. There are also visual differences in this particular coin that make it instantly recognizable. Some photos and collector reports describe the reverse side, the side featuring the Lincoln Memorial, as being slightly misaligned, with some of the columns either missing or faintly struck. Others note that the word America appears with a spacing issue, where the letters A and M are either touching or spaced wider apart than they should be. These small details can turn an ordinary penny into a rare treasure because they indicate that the coin was struck with an improperly engraved die. Even tiny variations in letter spacing, rim shape, or relief depth can make a world of difference to collectors who know what to look for. The story of how this coin came to be valued at such an astronomical level is just as incredible as its physical features. It reportedly surfaced when a coin enthusiast, sifting through old pocket change, spotted the odd characteristics of the coin and brought it to the attention of professional graders. After an extensive evaluation process by leading grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, it became apparent that the coin was no ordinary penny. The metallic composition, the strange double mint mark, and the striking irregularity suggested it could be one of a kind. And when a coin is truly unique, its value becomes virtually limitless. The coin collecting community went wild when news of this 1996 Liberty penny broke. Collectors began scouring their own coin jars, wallets, and rolls from banks hoping to spot even the slightest sign of a similar anomaly. The possibility that such a valuable penny could still be in circulation was thrilling. After all, there are countless stories of people finding valuable coins by pure chance, coins that were hiding in plain sight for decades. The excitement grew as more people learned about how certain 1996 pennies with small differences could still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the nature of the error. What's particularly interesting about the 1996 Lincoln cent is that even outside of the ultra-rare $480 million example, there are numerous variations worth collecting. Some 1996 pennies show off-center strikes, where part of Lincoln's bust or the lettering is missing because the blank planchet wasn't properly centered when struck. Others display die cracks, fine raised lines across the coin's surface that result from worn or damaged dies. Even more subtle variations, such as filled mint marks, where there's D or P that appears partially missing because of debris in the die, can attract collector interest. Every one of these details tells a story about how the coin was made, and every story adds value. One of the mysteries that continues to intrigue experts is the origin of the supposed minting errors on the $480 million penny. Some speculate that during the 1990s, the US Mint was experimenting with new press machinery or testing replacement dies that might have produced unexpected results. Others believe that a rogue employee could have intentionally created an error coin, something that has happened on rare occasions throughout minting history. The most famous examples include the 1943 copper penny and the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, both of which were believed to have resulted from unusual circumstances inside the mint. If a similar situation occurred with the 1996 penny, it would make the coin not only rare but historically significant as well. It's also worth considering how the condition of a coin influences its value. Even the most extraordinary error coins must be preserved in top-grade condition to reach astronomical prices. For the 1996 Liberty penny, it said that the coin remained in near-perfect mint state, with its original luster intact and minimal signs of handling. The grading scale used by experts, known as the Sheldon scale, rates coins from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless coin. A coin like this, with multiple major errors and in pristine condition, could easily command attention from the world's wealthiest collectors and investors. The incredible valuation of $480 million isn't just based on the physical rarity of the coin, but also on its symbolic value. Coins like these represent a perfect storm of historical intrigue, manufacturing mystery, and collector passion. They become cultural artifacts that reflect the intersection of human error and historical legacy. For serious collectors, owning a coin like this isn't just about the metal, it's about owning a piece of minting history that might never happen again. Now, let's talk about